Okay, so for what's this seventh part? This is where that crazy tapping starts showing up. He plays this chord 3 times. It's ring finger on the fifth of the fifth string, pinky on the fifth of the fifth string, middle of on the fourth of the third string, and index on the third of the second string. So he plays that 3 times. Then after that, you play the fifth string open, hammer onto the fifth of the fifth string with your index, hammer on with the ring finger to the seventh, still on the fifth. Then with the right hand, I kind of move my these fingers first, so that's index on the fifth of the third string, and pinky on the eighth of the second string. And with his right hand, he taps 12th on the third string, pulls off to that fifth right there, taps 12th of the second string, pulls off to right there, and then goes back to the 12th on the third string and pulls off. So that tapping thing was... Alright, then he goes back to playing those 3 chords, that chord 3 times. But this tapping thing is different. So this tapping thing, he plays the 5th open, hammers on with his index onto the 5th fret, and then hammers on with his ring onto the 7th fret, just like normal. And his right hand taps onto the 12th fret. And I don't know if he pulls this off open in a second. Sometimes I do it by accident, but I'm trying not to. But with his left hand, he taps the 5th on the 4th fret. And at the same time, he may or may not pull that off, so it's either that or just that. Then he taps with his ring finger, or hammers on with his ring finger at the 7th fret, so on the 4th. Then his right hand comes in and taps the 9th fret, then pulls off to the 5th fret, hammers with his left hand ring finger onto the 7th again. Right hand comes in and taps the 12th, still on the 4th fret, pulls that off back to the 5th again, and then hammers onto the 7th. So I'll do that again slowly. Okay, so after that he plays those chords, then goes back to that first tapping thing, then those chords again, does the second tapping thing, and then he plays this chord, which is ring finger on the 9th of the 5th fret, or 9th of the 5th string, pinky on the 9th of the 4th string, index on the 7th of the 3rd, and ring finger on the 7th of the 2nd. And then tapping. The tapping, I hold my index on the 7th for each of these strings before I tap, but he taps with his right hand the 12th fret of the 1st string, pulls off to the 7th that you already have there, and hammers on to the 9th with his left hand ring finger. And then you move that index on the 7th to the 7th of the 2nd string, but you don't do anything yet, you're just holding it there. But you tap the 2nd string, 12th fret, pull off to that 7th, and then you hammer on to the 8th with your middle finger. Then you do the same thing, tap with your right hand on the 12th fret of the 3rd string, pull off to your index on the 2nd or the 7th fret, and then you hammer on to the 9th, all on the 3rd string. Then you tap the 12th on the 4th string, pull off to the 7th of the 4th string still, and then you pull that off to open. So that whole thing is And then he does that chord again. And then does the tapping again. After he does all of that, he repeats it. So he does the first chord, first tapping, first chord, second tapping, first chord, first tapping, first chord, second tapping. Then the second chord, that crazy third tapping, second chord, third crazy tapping. And then after that, he just plays that first chord and then leaves some space. Then does it again, leaves some space, and he does that 4 times. So this is how the whole thing sounds slow speed. Gonna skip the repeat because it's just the same. It takes too long. Now a bit faster. Alright, now full speed. Okay, so after that that 7th part, after he strums that chord 4 times, he goes back to the first part of this whole song. And he plays that 4 times. But at the very end, that last little section, he slows it down a lot and adds in some notes. So it's then he keeps this shape, but he adds in 3rd, 4th strings, that is, 5th, 3rd, 4th, 2nd, and then open 6. So and then after he plays that open 6, he does some weird thing. I mean, this was just really lucky that it doesn't sound completely terrible, but he strums this part of his guitar, and if you try, just don't do that. It sounds horrible. Listen, no, that's bad. But if you want to, he strums that part, and then he strums the part right here where the strings normally would be, but they're not on my guitar. It just kind of goes in like that. Normally you could kind of strum right there. And then he plays harmonics 12th fret on, I think, all of them. Yeah, all of them on the 12th fret. Normally what I do in since I kind of lack the strumming of that and the thing over there that sounds horrible on my guitar, I sometimes do harmonics on there, and then I go to the 7th fret, do harmonics, and then 5th fret harmonics. But that's just something that I add in sometimes. After he does this harmonic, you could barely hear it. I don't know if it's actually supposed to be part of the song. It might just be him stopping his guitar but accidentally getting these notes by accident. But you could just barely hear him kind of hammer on the 5th and 6th and 5th strings on the 2nd fret. But it's just barely, and I don't know if it's part of the song, so add that if you want. But yeah, so that's the whole song. Thanks for watching. Hope it helped.